Good evening. How is everybody tonight? Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing good. I hope you had a nice day. It was absolutely gorgeous here today, just unbelievably gorgeous. So we were getting a few things done today, but my energy level as far as doing chainsaw work was just not there today. So I did a little bit, but wasn't happening. So anyway, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody if we have any interruptions in the stream, if we have any problems, that I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. You may not see a notification because that's one of the games YouTube likes to play. But if you look for me, I will be back on. Also, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented stream. So please be decent in the chat. No swearing, no nastiness. Just be decent to each other. And if you cannot abide by these nice early easy rules, then those people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we're just not going to tolerate that. So just being honest. Hey, Reginald Shannon from Dublin, Ireland. Very nice. Welcome. All right, so there's actually a lot that I want to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff. Uh, I got to talk about my poor Canadian neighbors. We're going to talk about those guys up there in a little bit, what they're facing, what they're dealing with right now. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine that lives up in Canada, and she was telling me some of the stuff that's going on up there right now, and it's insane. It is insane. But we're going to get into that in a little bit as well. But we're going to be talking about where the help for the Americans are, because obviously, we help everybody else, and I want to address that. And here's the thing: most Americans, and I say this, and I'm okay. So I hate to throw like a whole group under the bus because it's really not fair. Because there's some of these kids that have a really great work ethic and they work hard and they bust their not chops, but they bust their butts and they get things done. But in general, the under 30 generation is lazy, entitled, wants something for nothing, doesn't want to work for anything. Not all of them, because I don't want, like I said, I don't want to throw them all under the bus. But there are, I think a lot of it depends on how you were raised. If you are raised with a work ethic, realize that nothing is given to you for free, that you have to work for and earn it. Steve, are you going riding tomorrow? Actually, I went riding today too. I did get out on a bike today. It was just so nice. And yes, I'm going to go down and see my daughter tomorrow, and I'm going to go down and ride. And she was like, she's so funny. I just talked to her the other day. She goes, Dad, she says, when we have these really nice days, all I can think about is, man, I wish I was out on the bike with my dad. So I told her I would come down. I'm going to pick her up. We're looking at almost 80 degrees here tomorrow. I want you to realize too, okay, so here we are in April. In our normal temperatures, which we will be getting back to normal temperatures here next week, is about 57 degrees. That's our daytime high at this time of year normally. So with having, like today, we were in the low 70s. Tomorrow we're supposed to be almost 80 degrees. I mean, that's not normal. Okay, so I will take it. I'm going to enjoy it. And so tomorrow I definitely will be out riding. But I mean, I was riding in this muscle shirt. I did put my vest on. I didn't put my jacket on, but I just had my vest on, and it was freaking awesome. It was just awesome. So I get out to a certain point, and I would tell you this real quick. So I get out to a certain point, I'm going, should I hit that other long road and do that other long road? And I'm like, yeah, I should. So, and it was perfect because sometimes when this one road that I take, they just repaved it last year. And if you get stuck behind somebody, you can't really get up and go. And I like to get up and go, especially around like with the curves. It's an awesome ride. And the whole way out on that road, there was nobody, and it was just absolutely perfect. So, yeah, I love that. So, okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that. David Williamson just said, Ed, do you think Biden will really start to build the wall due to mounting pressure? There is talk that yes, he is going to restart construction in certain parts of the wall, which I think is absolutely hilarious because, it's like, they want the open borders and now they're realizing what a quagmire and a mess they've made for themselves. And now they have to deal with the consequences of that. And so, yeah, they are definitely going to be restarting building parts of the wall, which I think is I think it's funny. I just think it's funny. But what's that noise? You're probably hearing the fans going on here. So maybe that's what you're hearing. So I don't know why. It's up on a piece of wood, so it's not like sitting on the bed. It happens. There's not much I can do about that. So sorry that if that bothers you. So anyway, the younger generation, like I said, now, like my daughter is an example of some. Now, I help my daughter out with college. I mean, I think most parents do. If their children are in school, they try if they can. Um, you know, but Heather went and got a part-time job, and she's always looking to pick up more hours, going to school full time. Anybody that's done it knows how difficult it is. So I give her a lot of credit for that. I mean, she's hustling, she's working hard, and so, my daughter is definitely not in that category of the entitlement generation. I mean, she's a hardworking kid. I know a lot of kids that are like my stepson Josh is another one. He works really, really hard, puts in buku hours, and he likes to work. So, there are certain kids out there that definitely have that work ethic. But unfortunately, a lot of them were handed everything. Um, I'm going to give you a great example. Okay. So, when Heather was a junior in high school, all right, I couldn't stand this kid. Could not stand this kid. Um, so, she was dating a kid who was a senior. All right. And this just gives you a good example. Mommy and daddy handed this kid everything. He never had to work for anything. Spoiled, pampered, very entitled, thought way too much of himself, but also had zero work ethic. Now, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about with zero work ethic. His sister, older sister, who he was just as smart as, he was a very, very smart kid, and I will never take this away from him. His older sister got a full ride to Princeton. I mean, that's a smart kid, okay? So he was lazy and didn't push and get the good grades or any of that type of stuff. And so when, you know, right after graduation, Heather like broke up with him like the day he graduated from high school. Because I said to her, I said, he's the type of kid that's going to break up with you over a text message. I'm telling you right now, because she could see there was like a distance, building between them. So she broke it off, and and it was hard for her because she really liked this kid, and but before then he was like, oh, I'm going to get a job for the summer before I go to college, and I said, Heather, I said, no, he's not. He's not going to get a job for the summer. I said, he's too lazy. He don't want to go. He doesn't want to go work. He's going to sponge off of mom and dad, and then he's going to go. Now, here's the best part. He was going to college for art. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're an artist, there's a lot of great people out there that are fantastic artists. So please don't think I'm knocking artists. Okay. But this kid sucked at being an artist. Sucked. All right. He was not any good at it. So of course, he did not work that whole summer, went off to college. Out of 6 classes, his first semester, he failed 3 of them. You're going to school for art. How do you fail that? Okay. But again, but she was done with him. So I'm really, really happy about that. Oh, yes. Heather Parker. Yes. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got to show you something really cool. Hold on. All right. Yes, this actually came. I went down and got it today. Actually, I got it this morning. So this is obviously from Heather Parker because she like put it up there, who she was. And so I want to read her note real quick first. Hey Ed, I seen this shirt the other day and I thought it was you. Figure you'd like. I enjoy watching your videos and learned a great deal. Thank you. I've been preparing for about 4 years as well. Much as I can. I'm in the restaurant small business that my small town in North Carolina. Maybe one day we might meet each other. Enjoy the shirt and keep up the awesome work your place and videos. I wish you and your family blessings and good health. We are Legion. And that's from Heather. All right, so I pulled the shirt out and I go, there's nothing on the front of this shirt, right? I'm like, what's and then I turned it around and on the back it says ride until Valhalla. So I thought that was absolutely awesome. That is like so cool. Love it, love it, love it, Heather. That is awesome. You are right. That is very much a me shirt. Ride until Valhalla. I love that. That is absolutely awesome. And I will definitely wear that and I will ride with it on. So yeah, that's an awesome shirt. I might even wear it tomorrow so Heather can see it because I'll show her tomorrow. But yes, very, very cool shirt. So thank you so much. That was very, very cool. So guys, we're at what, 709 in the chat. We're at 203 on the thumbs up. I'm going to ask really quickly if you have not shot a thumbs up yet to please do so to show support for the channel. So thank you ahead of time for that. I do appreciate that. Also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, it really does help the channel with the more that we have. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Hey, Christine Martinez, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. And also, I really like to see a lot of thumbs up is the third reason. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would absolutely ask you to please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. Valhalla is, okay, so Kate is asking, what is Valhalla? All right, Norse mythology. Norse is they're pagan. So I love that. I think it's the coolest thing ever. They believed in like Odin and Thor, Freya, Loki. You've heard of all those characters, but they're actually gods in the Norse mythology. In Valhalla is where you go when you die, the halls of Valhalla. So if you guys have seen me drinking the cup with the tea, and I've said one day I will drink out of this in the halls of Valhalla, that's what that's all about. So it's Norse mythology, and I love, like I said, I think it's the coolest thing. It's a Vikings type of thing. So, but yeah, so Valhalla is where we want to go, to the halls of Valhalla when we die, so we can drink mead and party with the rest of the Vikings. So that's what we want. That's what I want. Let me rephrase that. That's what I want. So anyway, but yeah, let me go. So this kid, I don't even know how he's doing in school now. I have no idea. I don't know if he's failed out already or not. But that's the work ethic with a lot of these kids because they're spoiled and they're entitled and they're handed everything. Unfortunately, a lot of my generation, really spoiled their kids. And gave them everything under the sun, and didn't make them earn things and stuff like that. I mean, my kids had chores. They had to make their beds every day. They had to keep their rooms clean. They had other things that they had to do as well. And I think it teaches kids responsibility. And I think that's important. I think kids need that responsibility and, being responsible for their own things and stuff like that. I mean, you guys have all seen the videos of these little snotty, bratty kids. They didn't get the latest phone and they're all pissed off, or they got the brand new phone and it wasn't the color that they wanted and they were ungrateful. It's, and then of course, it's the generation of the participation trophy. I know that when I was coaching Little League, I think back to that and I had so much fun doing that. It was great working with the kids and stuff like that. But we would play this other league. Now I was in, when we were doing Little League, we were in Charlotte, which was part of the city. And so we had the leagues for the Charlotte leagues for Little League. And we played like Irondequoit. Well, Irondequoit was more of a, I don't want to say liberal because it's like, it just makes all liberals sound bad, but it was more liberal minded. And they didn't even want to keep score of the games. It was like, well, we just want to participate and everybody gets to play. And no. It's about winning and losing. You teach these kids that's life. When they get out there in the real world, that's what it's about. You win or you lose. You don't get a participation trophy for showing up for work. Hard work and effort is what happens. So, but anyway, that's part of the problem with that generation. But I think the majority of Americans don't want a handout. Okay, so this is all to my point. Okay, the majority of Americans don't want a handout; they want a hand up. So what do I mean by that? Giving people an opportunity to better themselves, to be, and I don't want to say productive members of society, because I don't care if you're a janitor, if you work at a fast food, any of that type of stuff. You're working, okay? So I respect that. I don't care what you do, okay? I'm gonna afford everybody the same respect. The CEO of the company, and the janitor that cleans up that company. I'm gonna give them the same respect because they're a human being and they deserve it. And that's my opinion. But just because somebody makes more money doesn't make them better. All right. But most people want a hand up. They want that opportunity to put themselves in a better position for themselves and their families and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there working 2, 3 jobs trying to support their families. I mean, I've done it myself. I mean, I worked a ton of hours, when the kids were little and stuff like that when I was married to my ex. And but it's you know what the government is trying to do is they're giving handouts. That's what they're doing. We're giving the handouts. We're the stimulus stuff, which is a joke, realistically, because that's not really helping a lot of people as far as what it should really be helping, but it's not. But when you have, people are, if you give people an opportunity to better themselves, it goes a long way, and then they feel good about themselves. A lot of it is about self-worth. If you go back to school for whatever, I'm going to tell you what, some of the smartest kids should be going to trade school, because that's a solid job. It's a solid career. They can make a ton of money. Don't matter what. I got there. Scrape. I was looking at that. I'm like, what is that? Um, but they can make a ton of money working in the trades. And the best part is there's always going to be that work is always going to be there. And so, that's, instead of going to college for, liberal arts, or, basket weaving or whatever, the communications is another great one that really is going to take you far in life, yeah, it's just, it's crazy. But, yeah, college is overrated, right? There's nothing. You're right, and that's Randy Romine says nothing wrong with trade school. Colleges are overrated, and you're right. You go to a trade school, and then you do an apprenticeship for a certain amount of time, and you're making money the whole time you're doing it, and you don't walk out of that $100,000 in debt, and that's an important thing too, because you're never going to be able to pay that back. You'll be paying that forever, and that's what they want. It's all designed, if you think about it, the whole system is designed to make you a slave. That's what the system is designed for. So if you go to school, now you're in debt, right? So while you're in school, they're giving these kids credit cards like crazy, right? So now they're racking up the credit card debt on top of everything else. So now they have to go to work. They have to get this job to pay down their debt, or try to pay down their debt. And then at the same time, then they're getting married and having kids. And it's a snowball effect. And then, you got to have, the big house, and you have to have 2 cars, and you have to have this, and it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. But if kids are smart and they are paying attention to stuff and they're keeping that debt down, you can walk out of college not being hugely in debt if you are, planning and smart about it. And, or, like I said, or go to a trade school, whatever the case may be. But, I know for myself, like when I went back to school, I did it on loans, government loans, which were 10-year loans that I paid off over that next 10 years after I got done with school. And I was happy to pay that every month, I'll be honest with you, because it was just, that gave me the opportunity to go back to school, to get my education. And it was, like I said, for me personally, it was very, at that time in my life, it was probably the greatest thing at that point in time until the birth of my children. But, it made me feel so good when I got done with nursing school. And then I took my boards and I passed my boards. and I was able to be a nurse. And it's just it's been a it's been a fantastic career. I have no complaints other than management. I'll always complain about management, but yeah. So I mean, it's you know it afforded me a chance to support my family, to take care of my business, and and stuff like that, and that was a great thing, and so that was awesome. Yeah, the biggest problem now is the world is too unstable to look to the future. You know what, JJ? I'm in a way I'm going to disagree with that. I agree with you in a lot of aspects because the world is insane right now with all the stuff that's going on around the world, and even like in this country and up in Canada and stuff like that. You can't set your life up thinking this is going to happen or that's going to happen, and think negatively. You have to plan, and this is just it's again, this is just strictly a mindset. You can be frozen in fear, waiting for that end to happen, and and anticipating that end to happen, or you can just live your life and continue to prepare and be ready for whatever said event is going to happen, but you live your life in accordance to just what you normally do, and make your plans, and and then if something happens, then you deal with it accordingly. But to live in that state of fear and think, well, I'm not going to do anything because this might happen or that might happen or this might happen, you can't live like that. You really can't. So that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm all for the 2-year degrees. Hub did LPN school too. Yeah, there you go. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. And 2-year degrees, nothing wrong with a 2-year degree either. Yeah, jobs are hard to get with great benefits. They have taken away benefits, lowered pay, and they use every excuse in the world to do that. And they've broken up unions, and unions a lot of times were really helping to keep things, to better. You look at a great example is okay, a great example, and I will use them because they're like a huge company. I don't know about Amazon, but I do know about Walmart. Walmart primarily does not hire people, full time. They hire people part time, so they don't have to pay them benefits. So they have these people come in there and they work so many hours a week, no benefits, and whatever the pay is, and they're raking in the bucks. That's what they do, and they don't care about the turnover because there's somebody else that's going to come in there and willing to do that work. Unfortunately, the nursing field does the same thing to CNAs. They treat CNAs like absolute garbage. They figure they can just go ahead and get the next batch of CNAs coming through, and that's what they do. And it's unfortunate because there are some very, very talented people out there that really, really care. They get burned out because they use you up and they'll spit you out. It's very, very unfortunate. So hold on a second. I want to see what that person said. What ifs can rule your life, Delbert Jones said. Absolutely. So you can't live by what ifs. You have to make your plans like normal and then go from there. What's your opinion? Oh, hold on a second. I want to see what that person said real quick. Let's see. Where did that go? Oh, what's your opinion on a couple trying to have their first baby this year? You know what? Again, you still have to live your life. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have no issue with that whatsoever. Freddie left you. Elderly friend of mine woke up with eyes swollen shut, difficulty breathing, swollen neck, 3 weeks out from the Fuchi Ouchi. Doctors, no explanation. That's too bad. I hate hearing those things. I really hate hearing those things. It's don't even get me started. But that I'm sorry that's your friend is going through that. But again, they did that to themselves. Realistically, it was their choice. They made the choice, and